From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Well, it's 5 o'clock here on your Monday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
Lauren, good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez, and here are your headlines on this October the 12th. Violence in the city. The number of violent situations moving in a record-shattering direction. We'll detail the problems this morning.
Changes to the IMPD Oversight Board could be decided tonight. Our Kelsey Anderson explains the proposal that could give civilians more control over rules for police officers.
And a woman running for her loved ones kept apart by the pandemic. The message and the inspiration she's sharing for those in nursing homes on this Monday morning. Good morning to you on this Monday, October the 12th. I'm Rafael Sanchez in your official living room here in Johnson County as we continue to social distance. My good friends, look, we're all back together. We are family. Lauren Casey and Todd Clausen. For the first time in days, I will get us all name tags just in case I forget who people are.
Oh, man. Well, Rafael, thank you for holding down the fort here while I had a few days off. It's great to see you at home. It's great to be back. And Todd, we had a great weekend of weather here across central Indiana. I was even a little warm yesterday. I don't even want to say that, but
don't say that.
I know.
You need to see what's at the tail end of the 7-day planning forecast here. As there are some chilly temperatures heading our way, but you're right. It was a warm weekend. And a nice weekend for us as well. We're going to kind of carry that warmer weather over into the start of the work week as well. Here's the view from downtown off to the west. And you do notice there is some cloud cover out there. There's a little bit of patchy fog out there as well, with temperatures that range from 59 in Bloomington to 63 in Indianapolis. So everybody's within a couple degrees of each other. As far as the visibility issues go, there's this one little pocket of reduced visibility from Cloverdale down towards Spencer. So that does impact I-70 just a little bit. So keep that in mind, especially if you're going to be on the interstates here at those higher rates of speed. Otherwise, visibility not an issue across most of the area. And we will start off with those low-hanging clouds around, but then we get into some sunshine that you see across parts of Illinois. Obviously, the sun's not up yet, just clear skies, but eventually some sunshine for us. And then this front will come through later on this afternoon and into the evening hours, giving us the opportunity of some showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder. Some morning clouds, then some sunshine, 68 degrees by the noon hour, temperatures in the low 70s this afternoon. We'll talk more about those rain chances and the timeline for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at traffic right now. If you're heading out on the roads early this Monday morning, an area of some construction. You can see the orange barrels out there at I-70 and Ronald Reagan Parkway and Ameriplex Parkways. But it looks like traffic is moving along in all directions just fine this morning. No delays to slow you down. So just pay attention to where those barrels are at if you're traveling through this area. Of course, we'll continue to monitor any crashes or delays and keep you updated. Rafael?
Lauren, more violence overnight after multiple shootings in Indianapolis. Here are the details. Just after midnight, 2 people were shot on the city's northeast side. It happened on 34th Street, this near Emerson Avenue intersection. Police say both victims were taken to the hospital in stable condition. In a separate incident, another person was shot, this on the west side along Moeller Road. That victim, we're told, is also in stable condition. Around 10 last night, a shooting on the east side left one person in critical condition. This happened on West Washington Street near Moeller Road. Police have not released additional information at this time. And this all comes after 6 homicide investigations this weekend, 3 happening on Sunday. The latest was a shooting on Vega Way on the city's southwest side. One person was killed, another taken to the hospital in serious condition. That was the 159th intentional homicide this year, surpassing last year's record of 153. You can find more about these investigations right now on our website at WRTV.com.
And Rafael, there is a big decision on the way that could determine how the rules and protocols are made for Indianapolis Metro Police officers.
And Lauren, this could give the public more power over Metro Police than ever before. And WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning to explain the proposal. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So Proposal 237, that is something you're going to want to remember, because if it is approved at tonight's City County Council meeting, then things are going to drastically change here in Indianapolis. So if passed, the oversight of IMPD, such as things like their policies and their rules, that will be given to a board of civilians, and that will strip them away from the chief of police. Now, under the new plan, the mayor and the council would each appoint 2 citizens to the board. The chief would name 2 board members, and the Fraternal Order of Police would nominate 1 member. Now, Kenneth Sullivan Jr. is the pastor at New Direction Church, and he's also a part of Faith in Indiana, and he thinks that Proposal 237 is a step in the right direction.
This is something that we believe would be such a huge step toward just bringing that unity and, as I said before, accountability to our police department, and helping the community as well as the police departments that serve those communities work together in ensuring that there's a good relationship and that everything is being looked at from both sides.
Now, those who disagree with the proposal say it could let the board walk all over police. They also say that it should have been added on the November ballot and voted on by the citizens instead of by the City County Council. Now, we will bring you the latest from that meeting when it happens tonight, and of course update you on what we know. So far, 18 out of 25 counselors have signed as co-sponsors for the proposal. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you very much. It is 5:06 on our Monday, and let's get to the spread of COVID-19 here in the state of Indiana. The state is now reporting more than 1,200 new cases 5 days in a row now. Over the weekend, more than 1,900 cases were confirmed by the state health department on Saturday and 1,579 on Sunday. Indiana's total case count now stands at nearly 135,000. 7 new deaths were also confirmed Sunday. 3,562 deaths have been reported since this pandemic began. Well, all IPS students will be back learning from home this week. This was a planned remote learning week, replacing fall break due to the year's late start. Meals will be available at various IPS schools for drive-through pickup on Wednesday starting at 7:30 a.m. You can find more details about locations on the district's website, myips.org. Students will return to the classroom next week.
This morning, let's talk about your health, because this week you can get a free flu shot at various Community Health Network locations. Starting today through Friday, drive-through flu shots will be offered at Community Hospital East from 10 until 3. The shots will be given on a first-come, first-served basis. You must be 18 or older, and you are, of course, required to wear a mask. Then this upcoming Saturday, drive-through shots will be offered at Community Cancer Center North, as well as Community Hospital South from 10 until 2.
A program aimed at empowering African-American youth in our community is adjusting how they're serving families during the pandemic. For the first time in the Center for Leadership Development's history, programming is now available for students virtually. The program serves about 4,000 kids, teaching them character development, educational excellence, and community service. They offer tutoring and counseling to teach study skills, note-taking, and other areas to improve in school and in life.
It does give you a lot of different options of different things you could be, different things you can do. Like, there's no limit to anything we can do.
Well, the CLD is working to create satellite locations in some of the city's highest crime areas to meet students where they are. You can find more information by going to our website, WRTV.com.
So, Lauren, a woman is running a marathon in hopes of raising awareness about an issue that many families are facing right now during this pandemic. On Sunday, Sarah Gardner of Speedway took on the challenge of training for a solo marathon. That's 26.2 miles, and this is all for her father. Gardner's dad had a stroke 3 years ago and has been recovering ever since. Right now, he's living at a senior living facility in Avon. Gardner says she can't help him with his recovery or come see him in person. All her and her family can do is visit him through the window. The marathon was also a way to remind people that so many are still unable to be with their loved ones in nursing homes at this moment in time. Gardner says her dad's biggest goal is to walk again, and she's watching him work so hard, so she was inspired to accomplish this for him.
That journey that we've gone through with him has just been, you know, so motivational, because he never gives up no matter what. And I thought, okay, If he can do this and continue to try to get better, even now with this pandemic, I thought I can do a marathon.
You go, Sarah. Good luck to you and your family. The family is working on a way to get Gardner's dad out of the facility so they can be together during the holidays. On this Monday morning, of course, Todd, if you want to go outside and start training for a marathon, I've stepped outside here in Franklin. It's feeling pretty good. The weather seems nice for now.
Yeah, you know, temperatures outside right now are in the 60s in some areas, so it's not one of those real cool, crisp mornings that you think about in the middle of October. But with that said, we could use some rainfall. It's been a very dry stretch of weather for us, 54 days with basically no rainfall. There's been a trace here or there, but we need more than a trace for it to officially count. And as far as rain chances go, there are some showers in the forecast later on today, so will give us a slight chance of rain. Probably the best chance is going to be as we work our way into the end of the week when a stronger cold front makes its way through the area. So the bus stop forecast this morning, nice and quiet. You probably don't even need the light jacket with temperatures in the low 60s. As the kids come home, 73, so we're once again back above normal. But as the kids come home, there will be the opportunity for some showers. That's the timing of the front moving through. It will be during the afternoon and evening hours. More on that front in the timeline of the rain coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you so much. And the Postal Service proposing to increase its rates next year. How much more you may have to pay at the post office starting in January. That story and much more on this Monday morning right here on Good Morning Indiana.
Welcome back. President Trump returning to the campaign trail today after his doctors say he's no longer at risk for spreading COVID-19. He's scheduled to hold a rally in Florida tonight. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi has the latest.
This morning, President Trump preparing to return to the campaign trail just days after leaving the hospital.
It looks like I'm immune for, I don't know, maybe a long time, or maybe a short time. It could be a lifetime. Nobody really knows, but I'm immune.
Kicking off a jam-packed week of back-to-back rallies after his doctor announced the president is no longer at risk of spreading COVID. But during a call with supporters Sunday, the president claimed he's not only COVID-free, but immune to the virus. The president is also touting the experimental treatment, which he credits for his recovery.
We want to get it brought into the hospitals because I really believe it's a transfusion. I really believe that it will solve the problems of a lot of people.
But despite promising results for drugs like remdesivir and Regeneron's antibody cocktail, both of which were part of Trump's treatment, the CEO of Regeneron is now warning the company only has enough doses to treat 50,000 patients.
We have to figure out ways to ration this.
The president is eager to get back on the campaign trail with his poll numbers slipping. When it comes to handling the pandemic, our poll shows voters now trust Joe Biden over Trump by 12 points.
America deserves a president who understands what people are going through.
And now the president's campaign facing new questions.
President Trump tackled the virus head on.
ABC News confirming Dr. Anthony Fauci did not consent to this new ad, in which he's heard apparently praising the president's response to the pandemic.
I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more.
Fauci writing in a statement, quote, "I have never publicly endorsed any political candidate. The comments attributed to me without my permission in the GOP campaign were taken out of context." The Trump campaign says it plans to keep airing the ad, saying the doctor has praised the president's work in the past. One of those topics of praise, the administration's decision to restrict travel during the pandemic. But this morning, the administration is repeatedly in talks with some airlines to fast-track some international travel. The talks coming even as new infections in the UK have doubled in the last week. Pubs and restaurants in some areas now facing tighter restrictions. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Our Democracy 2020 coverage continues now with 3 weeks until Election Day. More than 7 million Americans have already cast their ballots in some 36 states. That's according to CNN and Edison Research survey of election officials. So far, Democrats lead Republicans in the 6 states reporting returns by party. The number of Americans voting early this election season expected to really rise across the country. We've already seen the long lines here in Indiana. By the end of the week, all 50 states and Washington, D.C. will have ballots available for all early voters. WRTV has everything that you need to know before Election Day, of course, on November the 3rd. Go to our Election 2020 digital section of our website. Now, there you'll find who's on your ballot, where you can vote, and any other questions that you might have about this election season. Again, that's all on WRTV.com/Election 2020.
And Raphael, sending mail might get a little bit more expensive in the year 2021. The U.S. Postal Service is planning to increase prices. The new proposal raises the price for first-class mail by 1.8% and all other categories by 1.5%. Some prices will remain unchanged, like the Forever stamp at 55 cents. Others will only go up 1 cent. A single-piece letter additional ounce is set to increase 20 cents. If approved by the Postal Commission, the changes will take effect on January 24th.
After helping with the aftermath of Hurricane Delta, Indiana Task Force 1 is heading home. The 35-member team was stationed in Baton Rouge, Louisiana to support relief efforts there. They're scheduled to be back in central Indiana later today. And Todd Clausen, compared to last Monday when we were dealing with a frost advisory, this morning as you head outdoors, it feels like summertime in the city.
It is a lot warmer than it was 1 week ago, that's for sure, Raphael. But we will get back into the potential for some frosty mornings in your 7-day planning forecast, which you'll see in just a few minutes. As far as today and how it breaks down, this morning we deal with some patchy fog. It's not super widespread. It's not super dense, which is the good news. Then we get into some sunshine as we get into the early portions of the afternoon, only for a cold front to come through to bring some rain chances in here late in the afternoon and then early into the evening hours. So we have quite a bit going on as far as weather goes on this Monday as we kick off the work week. You notice the visibility issue is not an issue here in downtown Indianapolis. You can see the cloud cover that is out there, though, and the worst of the visibility is this little pocket from Cloverdale down towards the Spencer area. We had one little pocket just north of Zionsville here up towards the Sheridan area, but otherwise we are in pretty good shape as far as visibilities go this morning, and I am not expecting those visibilities to dramatically reduce here or become more widespread as the morning goes on. 50s and 60s, so these temperatures running a little bit above normal for this time of year, for this time of the morning. Normally, we should be getting down into the 40s in many locations. Not going to be the case here this morning, as we'll hold pretty steady in the low 60s through about 8 a.m. And then the temperatures today will slowly start to warm throughout the morning hours, simply because we'll still have the clouds in place. We don't get into that sunshine right away, and in turn see that big temperature jump that will be heading in our direction across the area. There are some clouds that will continue to filter back in, and as we expand out, you notice two things on the far right-hand portion of your screen here. That's what's left of Hurricane Delta. That's not a player for us, but this is a player for us, and that is going to be a cold front that is going to be heading in our direction. As it comes in, just like so many of the past really 54, 55 days, will start to weaken as it arrives. So as we work our way throughout the afternoon hours, we get into a little bit of sunshine. Here comes the front through the area. It probably arrives around 3 o'clock in western locations and then quickly makes its way eastward across the state, and it's out of here by about 8 o'clock. So it's just a quick shot of rain, but if you do have evening plans after work, make sure you check Storm Shield app or the radar, or tune in with Kevin later on this evening as he'll be tracking those showers through the area. No severe weather, though. That is the good news. Highs today, a little cooler where that front arrives earlier, 74 in Petersburg compared to near 80 in Muncie, about 80 in Shelbyville, mid-70s to the west, and then same as you get into southern locations, upper 70s, Spencer, Bloomington, close to 80 as you make your way into Columbus as well as Seymour, and then this evening we'll fall back down into the 50s. Here's your 7-day planning forecast. I mentioned the frosty start, not so much the next 3 days with temperatures that'll be above normal, but look at this. Friday and Saturday morning down into the 30s. Highs on Friday and Saturday will only be in the mid-50s. The good news is plenty of sunshine Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now. This is our INDOT traffic camera up at I-69 near State Road 38. Good morning to you in the Pendleton area, LaPel, Anderson, Edgewood. No matter where you're coming from here on I-69, it's smooth sailing. No major issues. As you can see, traffic is open in all lanes, both northbound and southbound.
The Los Angeles Lakers are the NBA's 2019-20 champions.
And you saw it all right here on WRTV. LeBron James and the Lakers taking home the Larry O'Brien Trophy after Game 6 against the Miami Heat. After an unprecedented season in the bubble, the Lakers won their 17th NBA franchise championship. They beat the Heat 106-93. That ties them now with the Boston Celtics for the most titles in the NBA. LeBron alone now celebrating his 4th championship.
It don't matter where it is. If you win a championship, a bubble, Miami, Golden State, it doesn't matter. When you get to this point, it's one of the greatest feelings in the world for a basketball player to be able to win at the highest level.
LeBron was also awarded the 2020 NBA Finals MVP. He is the first in NBA history to hold that title with 3 different teams. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
All right, as we work our way throughout the course of the day today, you will notice that the temperatures don't move a whole lot throughout the course of the morning hours, as we'll be dealing with a little bit of cloud cover in place. But then we do get into some sunshine this afternoon, at least the early part of the afternoon, and that get our temperatures up into the 70s. But anytime after 3 o'clock through about 8 o'clock, a cold front will sweep across the state. With it, the chance of a few thunderstorms, actually, nothing severe, and a few showers as well. So we could potentially, at least after 3 p.m., get some much-needed rain. We'll break down the rain chances not only today, but the rest of the week for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues in just a few minutes.
Welcome back. It is dry across central Indiana as we kick off our Monday, but there's a much-needed chance for rain here in our forecast. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is working for you and timing everything out. And the Circle City is coming off a violent and deadly weekend, now at 5:30, where the city now stands in terms of homicide numbers. Plus, the Indianapolis City County Council is set to vote on a proposal changing how the department is overseen. We're live with what those changes could mean for you. Good Morning Indiana continues right now.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And we want to thank you for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. Let's talk about our forecast. First things first on a Monday. Todd, what can people expect as they wake up?
You know, it's very quiet out there right now, Lauren. There's a little bit of patchy fog in spots, but it's not a huge problem. So what do you need to grab before you go here this morning as you walk out the door? Well, you should grab the sunglasses. You'll need those not so much this morning, but as we get into the afternoon hours. And then for the first time in a while, I've checked the umbrella off. We are not looking at any long-term steady rainfall. We're not looking at a lot in the way of rainfall, but there will be the possibility later on this afternoon as a cold front comes through of a quick passing shower, maybe even a rumble of thunder for some of us across the area. But no threat of rainfall this morning. You see the clouds in place behind our graphic here. 55 in Kokomo, 65 though in Shelbyville. Keep in mind our normal high this time of year should only be in the mid to upper 60s. So we're at that in many locations already here this morning. Kokomo's a little clearer. That's why you're a little bit cooler there. As far as the rain goes, here is the cold front. We'll be tracking through the area later on this afternoon. We should be dry until at least about 3 p.m. Once we get to 3 p.m., that's when some scattered showers enter the forecast. Maybe a rumble of thunder as well. With high temperatures today, that'll be climbing back above normal into the low to mid 70s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now. As you're heading out on the roads, here's a look in the downtown area, I-65 and I-70 here at the North Split. You can see traffic is quiet. Everything is traveling up to speed. Of course, we'll continue to keep an eye on your roads throughout the morning, let you know if there are any trouble spots you need to avoid. But right now, things are quiet. Raphael?
Lauren, there's a big question happening tonight that could determine how rules and protocols are made for Indianapolis Metropolitan's Police Department. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning to explain this proposal. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So if voted in favor of tonight, Proposal 237 will give the citizens more control over the IMPD and the practices and policies that they have in place. So we've been following the progress on the IMPD Oversight Board for weeks, and tonight it could become a reality. If passed, Proposal 237 would give the oversight of IMPD, such as things like their policies and their rules, that will be given to a board of civilians, and that will strip them away from the chief of police. Kenneth Sullivan Jr. is the pastor at New Direction Church. He's also a part of Faith in Indiana, and he says Proposal 237 is a step in the right direction.
It would be a huge accomplishment for Indianapolis to lead the way in this sort of just added layer of accountability.
Now, if approved tonight by the City County Council, Proposal 237 will put the nation's strictest citizen oversight board in place here in Indianapolis. Now, people who oppose this proposal say that it should have been put on the November ballot and put up to the decision of the citizens of Indianapolis and not just the City County Council. Now, we will bring you the latest from that meeting tonight, and right now, 18 of 25 council members have co-sponsored this proposal. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. The time right now is 5:34. Also up for a vote tonight is the city's 2021 budget. That includes an additional $7.7 million for Metropolitan Police Department. The department says that money will be used to hire more officers, additional body cameras and other equipment, and for legal settlements. Over the last several weeks, the council has heard from members of the public who would rather see the money go towards social programs, mental health services, and residents struggling during the pandemic. Look for an update on both votes on the News at 11 and right here on the WRTV mobile app.
So, Lauren, hearings for President Trump's Supreme Court pick just get underway this morning. Even before Judge Amy Coney Barrett takes the oath before the Senate Judiciary Committee, there are growing calls to delay that nomination process. The hearing comes just 10 days after 2 Republican members of the Senate committee tested positive for coronavirus. But this morning, Republicans are vowing to move forward.
I think they are looking for anything to delay things even a day or 2 or 3. And I think that Senate Republicans will follow the guidance, the medical guidance of the Capitol physician. 2
Republican senators have said they're not going to participate in this farce. If 2 more join them, then it's game over.
Judge Barrett's opening statement to the Senate Judiciary Committee was released on Sunday ahead of today's hearing. Now, she's expected to focus on how her faith, her family, and her mentor, the late Justice Antonin Scalia, influenced her opportunity to be nominated to the Supreme Court.
A violent weekend in the Circle City with at least 5 people shot since noon on Sunday. Just after midnight, 2 people were found shot on the city's northeast side. It happened on 34th Street near Emerson Avenue. Police say both victims were taken to the hospital in stable condition. In a separate incident, another person was shot on the west side along Moeller Road. That victim is also stable. Also around 10 last night, a person was shot on the east side. This happened on Washington Street near Rural Street. Not a lot of details are known at this time, but we do know the last victim was listed in critical condition.
Also developing this morning, more Hoosier lives lost. Indianapolis marked its 186th homicide and 159th intentional homicide for this year of 2020. This after a deadly double shooting on the city's southwest side. This incident happened just before 6:30 Sunday evening at the Stone Ridge Apartments and Townhomes on Vega Way just off of Kentucky Avenue. Investigators say when officers arrived, they found 2 people shot. One was pronounced dead at the scene. The other victim was last listed in serious condition. Police are still working to figure out what led to that shooting. Sunday night's homicide was the 6th recorded in Indianapolis since Friday night. Here's a look at where that happened. Around 9:40 Friday night, a man was shot to death and then hit by the driver of a vehicle on North Park Avenue. Minutes later, on the west side, a woman was shot and killed in the 1200 block of North King Avenue. Then on Saturday night, a Marion County Jail inmate was found dead after he was believed to have been assaulted by another inmate. Just after noon on Sunday, a person was stabbed to death in the parking lot of a Subway restaurant on West 38th Street. And around the same time, a woman was shot and killed near the 8400 block of Craig Street, this in Castleton. Anyone with information on any of these cases should call Crime Stoppers right away.
Let's turn now to the continuing impact of the coronavirus pandemic that it's having here on Hoosiers. State health officials report another record-setting number of cases over the weekend. Saturday, 1,945 cases of COVID-19 were reported. That's the highest number ever recorded. Sunday, the number dropped to 1,579, but still marking the third highest daily total of the pandemic so far. As of this morning, 134,981 Hoosiers have contracted the virus. State health officials also report 7 additional deaths. That brings the total number of Hoosiers who have died with COVID-19 to 3,562. And we are continuing to keep a close eye on our hospital preparedness as health officials warn of a possible twindemic with the influenza. There's been a slight drop in the number of ICU beds available, as well as the number of available ventilators. At this hour, just over 78% of the state's ventilators are available. Around 4% are being used by COVID patients, and 34.4% of the state's ICU beds are still available. Half are being used by non-COVID patients, and around 16% are being used by COVID patients. The time right now is 5:39 on Monday. Let's check in with Todd on today's forecast. And Todd, I was just telling you, I have several leaves raked, still have a ways to go. Do I need to get that done before any rainfall here?
There'll be a little rainfall here today. Better rain chances Thursday, and then Wednesday is also going to be a very windy day. So as far as getting those leaves up, try to get them up as soon as possible. As far as the rainfall deficits go for the month so far, here we are now 12 days into October, and after a very, very dry September, in fact, the driest September on record, we're well over an inch below normal as far as rainfall goes already. Some small opportunities for rainfall, but we have been enjoying above normal temperatures, and you can see that as we go through the day today and then into tomorrow. We'll continue to enjoy the above normal temperatures, but look at this chart here. And as we work our way towards the end of the week, you see all the blues coming in. That is much colder air. So at the bottom here, we'll go from nearly 10 degrees above normal today and tomorrow to probably about 7 to 10 degrees below normal by the end of the week, when highs will only be in the 50s. We'll talk more about that extended forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. The Gulf Coast once again cleaning up from a hurricane. Ahead this Monday morning, a look at the damage left behind by Hurricane Delta. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Monday, October the 12th. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. President Trump's doctor says that he can end his isolation and return now to an active schedule, which means he can go back on the campaign trail. The White House released a memo from Dr. Sean Conley on Saturday night. Conley says the president has met the CDC criteria to end quarantine and is no longer considered at risk for spreading the virus to others. However, the memo does not say whether the president has tested negative for COVID-19 since testing positive just last week.
At 5:44 this morning, President Trump is urging the Commission on Presidential Debates to put the second presidential debate back on the schedule. It was supposed to take place on Thursday, but following the president's COVID diagnosis, the commission changed the event to a virtual one with each candidate scheduled to appear from remote locations. But the president refused to participate, calling a virtual debate, quote, a waste of time. Biden's campaign has now booked him for a town hall Thursday with ABC News. According to the White House, the president also has plans to hold a town hall that night if an in-person debate is not possible.
Laura, now let's turn to the Gulf Coast, where people once again, as you know, are cleaning up after yet another hurricane. Sunday, Louisiana reported peak power outages with more than 688,000 residents in the dark. By Sunday, that number was nearly cut in half. But the outages are not the worst news.
Unfortunately, today we're reporting the first storm-related fatality. That's an 86-year-old man in St. Martin Parish. Passed away from a fire that sparked shortly after refueling a generator that was located in a shed, and we don't believe the generator was allowed to cool down before he refueled it. So I ask you to join me in praying for his family, and that also ask everyone to exercise extreme caution dealing with generators, both where they're placed and how they are refueled.
Meanwhile, 2 injuries were reported in Georgia. The remnants of Delta are now headed east this morning. And Todd Clausen, you were on point on Friday when you told us that we were not going to see much of anything because of Hurricane Delta. In fact, the graduating class at Franklin College is grateful that there was no rain on Sunday, as that class graduated under some beautiful skies.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And really all weekend long, we had those above normal temperatures. Even on Friday, we had all that sunshine, and we really could use some rain. We have some opportunities here in our forecast this week, including later on this afternoon. But this morning, as you get going on this Monday, starting off new work week, we are completely dry. 63 degrees, that's the current temperature right now. Just a light wind out of the east. Visibility 7 miles in Indianapolis. That's not an issue. But as I move out and expand out here for you, you notice as you work your way now towards Terre Haute, some visibilities are reduced on the far western portion of the state, right along I-70. So just keep that in mind if you live in that area or traveling in that direction, that there is some patchy, dense fog, and that's where the temperatures are just a couple degrees cooler. The skies are a little bit clearer. 55 in Greencastle right now, 63 in Indy, 58 in Tipton. Still holding on to 65 degrees as you make your way into the Connorsville area. And temperatures today are going to again be above normal. Now with a little more in the way of cloud cover, as you see throughout the morning hours, we don't see that big temperature jump like initially throughout the course of the morning. Once the sun comes up, it's just kind of a slow but steady climb this morning. And then this afternoon, we get into a little bit of sunshine. And once we get into the sunshine, that's when the temperatures will climb up into the low 70s. And then once we get into the late afternoon, early evening hours, a cold front's going to come through. That'll give us the opportunity for some showers and storms. So there's actually quite a bit going on and some moving parts here in the forecast for the day today. But it's getting quiet this morning. Here's the remnants right behind me of Delta making its way from New York to Washington. But here is what's going to be heading in our direction later on today. It's a cold front. The heaviest of the rain is going to stay to our north. We just get some rain with the front moving through. The timeline here, Monday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's still off to our west. Once we get to 3 o'clock onward, that's when the broken line of showers will make its way through the area. We are not going to see a lot of rainfall. Don't think of today as a wet afternoon or a wet evening. Yes, there'll be some scattered showers moving through, but we are not talking about any significant rainfall across the area. In fact, most of the area will be below 1/10 of an inch. A few isolated areas could pick up a little bit more if you get a thunderstorm or a heavier downpour. But again, this is not going to be a drought-busting rain for us. It's just an opportunity for some rainfall across the area. Once that front goes through, it will be cooler tomorrow morning, as we'll be starting off in the 40s once again. So tomorrow morning, you will need the jacket, but tomorrow is sunshine right away. It's a beautiful day. Temperatures will climb up into the low 70s. A stronger cold front comes through on Thursday. That's probably the best opportunity for more widespread or some lingering showers across the area. Behind that front, a nice weekend in store. It's going to be bright, but much more fall-like, with temperatures that will be only in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. Lauren?
Todd, thank you. Let's take a look right now at traffic. So you're heading out on the roads, taking you out to Plainfield. Good morning to you. I-70 here of you near State Road 267. Now, this is a site of ongoing construction. Just a reminder, we do have the on-ramps closed again this week from northbound and southbound State Road 267 to eastbound I-70. Those are scheduled to reopen early November, and of course, we'll keep you updated. Right now, traffic is traveling up to speed despite some orange barrels out on the roads and some traffic shifting, as you can see there from our camera. So just use caution as you travel through that spot. Raphael?
So, Lauren, this year, holiday travel is expected to be just way down. No surprise because of the pandemic. A new survey by Travelocity found that nearly 60% of people won't be going anywhere for the holidays, possibly. Almost a third say they won't celebrate the holidays at all this year, but a quarter still plan to take a vacation before the end of the year. Doctors say if you do travel, be sure to take the proper precautions against COVID-19.
Well, the challenges of the pandemic have led to more people needing cash quick, so more companies are offering pay advance apps to their employees. It allows people to get small cash advances if they need to cover a bill, avoid paying a higher late fee, or have an emergency. The apps are cheaper than typical payday loans or check cashing lending, but if you use them frequently, the costs can really add up over time. The Consumer Watchdog says as a solution, employers should leverage lesser fees for the workers.
Check on those fees indeed. A chance to make it 4 wins in a row on the line for the Colts in Cleveland. After the break, our Brad Brown breaks down why that did not happen. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The Indianapolis Colts playing in Cleveland against the Browns on Sunday, which, Raphael, we know used to mean an easy win, right?
It used to mean that, but our Brad Brown reports that the Colts found out that this year's Browns team might be the real deal.
The Colts and Cleveland each came into Sunday's game with 3-1 records. Both teams would take some chances in the first half. The Colts' first score of the game came on a 4th down run. Jonathan Taylor getting outside, and there's no one there to touch him. Indy took a 7-3 lead midway through the opening quarter. But with Darius Leonard on the sideline with an injury, the Colts' defense looked a bit different. So Cleveland opened up its passing game to attack early and often. Baker Mayfield connected with Kareem Hunt for his first TD. Then it was Mayfield to Rashard Higgins on the next possession. 228 passing yards for the Browns before halftime.
Again, mobile quarterback. You know, you have to be able to keep him in the pocket, coordinate the rush and everything like that with blitzes or, rushing with 4. Obviously, he's a special talent as well at being able to move around in the pocket, find open guys. Again, it's a challenge. We always say it. This is the NFL. Guys get paid just like we do. Some even more for that reason.
Colts trailed 20-10 at the break. Another chance taken in the third quarter would turn into more points for the Browns. Phillip Rivers' pass intercepted by Ronnie Harrison. He would run that back for the score, and suddenly the deficit was 17. But Indy got a much-needed boost from special teams on the kickoff. Isaiah Rodgers making a couple of great moves and getting a couple of great blocks as well. Eventually, it was just a foot race, and Rodgers would win that one for the touchdown, 101 yards in all, and it was back to a 10-point game. The momentum shift continued a couple of plays later. Bobby Okereke, coming off thumb surgery just 6 days earlier, gets his first interception of the season, first of his NFL career. Colts turned that into another field goal and suddenly found themselves down by just 7.
Really just playing more disciplined defense. We knew we wanted to stop the run. We did a decent job of that in the first half, but they were giving us some boots, some deep shots. So we just adjusted to that, tried to get back to playing us, and we thought we started well, just weren't able to finish it out.
A tough break to open the fourth quarter. Rivers, pressured in the end zone, had to throw the ball away. Officials called an intentional grounding penalty, which resulted in a safety. That pushed Cleveland's lead back up to 9. On the next possession, Rivers threw his second interception of the game. Under pressure, the pass over the middle picked off by Sheldon Redwine. The Colts quarterback did not face a ton of pressure on Sunday, but did not fare all that well when it came around.
Little mistakes here and there all throughout the game that kind of the cumulative effect of those is what's keeping us from scoring a bunch of points. Who cares about the stats? Who cares about the stats? There's only one stat that matters, and that's scoring one more point. So we've done enough in the last 3 weeks, but we didn't today.
After an Indy field goal cut the deficit to 6, the Browns were able to close it out with one more big run. The Ernest Johnson's 28-yard gainer would help Cleveland seal the deal. A late field goal would make the final margin 32-23. Too many missed opportunities add up to the Colts' first loss since the season opener.
I thought Phillip hung in there well, and in some ways offensively, it was okay. We just can't turn the ball over, and we can't coach and play and spot a team. You can't spot a good team points, and that's essentially what we did.
The last time Cleveland started 4-1 was back in 1994. The Colts will have their next game at home next Sunday when they face the Bengals. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.